Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my review of the 2024 Grammys, and I decided to do it voiceover style. A couple months ago I did do a predictions video in terms of who I thought was gonna win it, who did win it, so if you would like you can check that out before you watch this video. And also this video will be split up into certain sections, so just check down below in the description for the timestamps if you would like to skip around, and let's get into it. So first off, I'm starting off with some red carpet looks, and this is Tyla. I think she looks great. I really like the color of it. I think that complements her skin nicely. Also, congratulations to her for winning her first Grammy and her first award overall. Next up, Lana Del Rey. I mean, my thoughts on this, I don't really care for it too much. I mean, to be honest, it's giving funeral, but I mean, this is pretty on brand from her aesthetic, from what I know about her and the music that I have heard. So, you know, it works for her, but you know, just not for me. Next up, Doja Cat, and yeah, she literally just puts anything on. She literally does anything. I'm pretty sure she put on a bunch of like fake tattoos or something like that, because I don't recall her having this much tattoos, though I know she has some. But yeah, there's just nothing about this objectively that works for me. I hate the entire thing. Burn this outfit, and you know, there was a hat that she was wearing with this and it actually looks worse. And so yeah, a miss for me. Next up, Holly Bailey. I like the dress. I will say that. The hair, not my personal favorite, but you know, it's good for what it is. Next up, Chloe Bailey. Yeah, this is giving. I really love this outfit. I think that it looks great on her. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. Next up, Ice Spice. You know, at first, whenever I saw this, I absolutely hated it. I'm gonna be honest with you. But now that I am seeing it again, you know what? I'm a fan of it. You know, she did go with this look. The hair, not my personal favorite. Maybe it's just the color of it. Maybe it's how short it is. The hair is not giving, but you know, the outfit for what it is, it's not too bad. So I'm gonna give her credits there. Next up, Taylor Swift. I mean, honestly, it's okay, but the entire dress, it's kind of giving me like, you know, whenever you have the top sheet on the bedding, it looks like they just took one of those and just wrapped it around her. Like, it just is not really giving. The gloves, I mean, it's kind of there. And yeah, I mean, she's had worse looks than this. It's not horrible, it's not amazing, it's just kind of there to me. Next up is Olivia Rodrigo. I mean, again, it's like same thing with Taylor Swift. It's not horrible, it's not outstanding, it's just kind of there to me. I feel like she's had better looks than this in the past, so from that standpoint it is kind of a disappointment. But I mean, comparatively to the other people on this red carpet before and after, you know, it's okay. I don't know, I want to see better from her. Next up, Mileycyrus. I don't like this outfit. She was talking about this on, I believe, Twitter, and she said that it took like hundreds of hours to put this together. So you know, shout out to them who, you know, worked hard on this, and the stuff does not come easy. I will say I can appreciate the effort. The execution, however, left something to be desired. Hair, it looks like whenever you just wake up and then, you know, you slept really good the night before, so it's a no for me. She had other outfits during the ceremony that I liked, but this was not one of them. Next up is Summer Walker, and now I just hate this fit. Like, there's nothing that I really care about, and it's just like, it looks like one of those rugs that you get from like TJ Maxx or Ross, and then it's like they cut that up and they were like, oh, we have to make a fit for Summer for the Grammys. I don't know what the thought process was behind this, but it wasn't a good one in my opinion. Last up in terms of the red carpet fits that I wanted to talk about today was Kelly Clarkson. This is probably my favorite one, honestly. I just think that it looks nice, elegant. I love the hair. I think she knocked it out of the park, and we really do love to see it. Like 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Now time to talk about some of the performances from the night. I never watched them all. I saw more of them than I normally do this year because I was watching with family. But first one to talk about today is Luke Combs with Tracy Chapman performing her song Fast Car, and you know, I enjoyed it. I thought that they both sounded great, and it's probably one of my favorite performances from the night, if I'm honest with you. Next up, Dua Lipa. So I realize these are out of order and this video is kind of a little bit chaotic, but you know, go with me. So she actually started off performing her new song Training Season, which I believe it's coming out in like 2 weeks, and I enjoyed it. I really like the choreography and everything that was going on there for the song, and how the stage was set up. Everything looked nice. And then she did kind of a mashup of Dance the Night from the Barbie soundtrack, and then also Houdini. And as I told you guys, I don't really care for Houdini that much. I mean, I just feel like it is just something that is regressive. Like, it just sounds like something she's already done before, and not in a good way. Like, I thought we were supposed to be moving forward with it. And like I said, the music video is giving a budget version of Madonna's Hung Up. There's nothing that I really care for in the song. It's not a horrible song. I definitely heard a lot worse songs, but it's kind of a disappointment for her, as I said. But you know, I knew Dua Lipa was going to give a good performance, and she did not disappoint. One of the best performances of the night, and I feel like Dua Lipa has come so far in these past few years. Next up is Olivia Rodrigo. Now she performed her hit single Vampire, and my thoughts on this essentially is there were some points where she sounded good, but there was also some points where she sounded like off key And yeah, like whenever the chorus like gets to that point and you listen to the actual song and then you listen to the live performance, I'm like, something sounds off. And every single time she got to the chorus, she kept dealing with the same problem. She's just an inconsistent live performer. As I've said before, I really do enjoy her music, and I think that Gus particularly was a great album, one of my favorite albums of last year. Like I said, she has to work on the live performances because she keeps falling into this. And yeah, the performance was just lackluster. I was kind of hoping that she was gonna pull some more theatrics and stuff like that, like she did for her VMAs performance. Like she had the set breaking down kind of like it did in the music video, and people thought that there was something wrong, but I like theatrics like that, and she did a little bit, but I mean, nothing to that kind of magnitude. And I was hoping that maybe she would also do Getting Back like she did the VMAs. Unfortunately, she didn't. So yeah, meh. Not a horrible performance, but I don't know. She just has to get better in terms of that, because I can't keep watching this, honestly. But, you know, I've seen worse performances this night, so, you know, I'll give her a C at best. Next up, Billie Eilish performed What Was I Made For? And so my thoughts on this, meh. It's just like, again, she sounded off. Like, it seems like she did it in a different key from the record. Maybe I'm mistaken, but yeah, it just didn't really give what it was supposed to give, in my opinion. Speaking on the outfit, I literally said it was like whenever you have to perform at the Grammys at 6 and you have to go to the nursing home at 7, like that was the vibe. And other people were saying that she was kind of giving Mary J. Blige, which is funny as well. So yeah, man, she's a good live performer. She really is a good live performer, but this performance didn't give what it was supposed to give, in my opinion. Next up, Miley Cyrus performed Flowers, and this was so much fun to watch. And I think the reason that it was is because right before this, she literally got her first Grammy ever, which is a huge accomplishment. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And so I think that the inhibitions were just lowered. She was like, I'm gonna go up there and have fun, like all the pressure is off. And she was doing like all these extra ad-libs that aren't even on the song. Like she was just having a grand old time. And she was funny because she literally was singing it and she was like, wow, y'all acting like y'all don't even know the song. And people said that kind of the outfit and the vibe was giving Tina Turner, which I can see. Also, I think it's important and worth knowing that Tina was a Sagittarius and Miley is a Sagittarius. And I think whenever you realize that, it puts everything that Miley does into such clear context. And that's no Sagittarius shade, it is what it is. They tend to be very adventurous, very free, very fun. I love Sagittarius. And so I think that's also part of the reason why they said it was giving Tina Turner. So we love to see it. So with that being said, this is definitely one of my favorite performances of the night. The mic was definitely on. I think she sounded great. I just really appreciated it. Like you could tell she was having a ball, and I really love performances like that where they're so invested in it. You could tell the crowd was really enjoying the song as well. So yeah, Miley ate and did what needed to be done. It's that simple. I also really like the outfit for it as well. Next up, SZA performed. So she did Kill Bill and she did Snooze. I thought it was great. I really liked the dancers and the choreography. I thought that she sounded great. Again, she was doing a lot of ad-libs and stuff, so I really enjoyed it. A lot of people were not really here for it, but I liked it for what it was. I think SZA's a great live performer. I saw her myself whenever she was touring her album SOS, and I thought that she sounded fantastic. SZA also had another performance. So she ended up doing her new song. It's called Saturn, and it's supposed to be off of her upcoming album Lana. We have no clue whenever it's coming out, but I loved it. I love the set, I love the song, and I'm really excited for the new album, I will say. And something I forgot to mention with all the performances this year is I noticed that they're having these artists like talk a lot before the performance, kind of talk about their career and everything, and then do their performance. I think that this is something that's new. It's interesting. Do I need it next year? Absolutely not. The show's already long enough, but I wanted to throw that in. Love the new song. Next up, Burna Boy. So he performed with Brandy and 21 Savage. Didn't really pay that much attention because I didn't care to, if I'm being honest with you. Brandy carried, and that's it. Fantasia did a tribute for Tina Turner, and I'm glad that they gave Tina Turner the moment that she deserved, because as the show kept going on, I was getting nervous that they weren't going to do that and it was going to irritate me. But with that being said, I thought that she did a great job, and she did Proud Mary. You know, shout out to everyone involved in this performance. I felt like it did her justice, and it was a really enjoyable thing to watch. So I would definitely say it's one of the best performances of the night for sure. Very electric energy all the way throughout it. Joni Mitchell performed, and I can honestly say this is one of the worst performances of the night. She sounded horrible. It was not giving, and I will say that she's a great songwriter. I'll give her credits there. I don't like her as a person though, because she did blackface multiple times, including on her album cover, I believe, so I had nothing for her or this performance. It is what it is. Billy Joel performed his new song, and I was very bored throughout this, and you know, he has some classic songs in the past, I'll give it to him, but this new song was just absolute snooze fest in my opinion, so I will say that. Stevie Wonder performed, and Stevie Wonder is one of the best artists of all time. Voice still sounds great, so shout out to him. Annie Lennox performed a tribute to Sinead O'Connor, who passed away early this year. I want to say she sounded god awful. Let's just get that out of the way, because there was nothing redeeming in terms of her vocals in this performance. I appreciate her message talking about ceasefire now, talking about the Israel-Gaza conflict and everything like that, and like I said, it's important to talk about Free Palestine. I said at the end of all my videos, and the fact that they just like muted her really doesn't sit right with my spirit, especially the fact that they're going to talk about, oh, all these people died at concerts and you guys still have Travis Scott perform, and you guys want to have a neutral statement on the whole Palestine conflict conflict, which you can't be neutral on that. There's people dying, and it doesn't survive with my spirit. So her taking a stand in that way, I really respected it. And from what I know about Sinead O'Connor, it's what she would have wanted. So I'll give her standpoints on that. Travis Scott, I saw all 2 seconds of this before I went to the other room. Like, I wasn't here for it. I'm never gonna be here for Travis Scott. Like, the Astroworld controversy, like, y'all can say it wasn't his fault, but it was, in my opinion, and I'm not gonna get into that. But even my friends who like Travis Scott said that the performance was mid, so I feel like that speaks enough for it. And yeah, like I said, the walking contradiction. I've been talking about all these people who died at this concert earlier this year, and you have Travis Scott perform. The jokes just really write themselves at this point, and glad that he got 0 Grammys because exactly what he deserves. Now on to some awards. So these are awards that were given out during the pre-show before the actual ceremony. And so best song written for visual media was Billieeilish, What Was I Made For? Absolutely deserved. I feel like this was one of my predictions. Best score soundtrack for visual media was Oppenheimer. I feel like I predicted this one again. I could be wrong. I have to watch back my video. And best music video, I'm Only Sleeping by the Beatles. So for best music film, it went to Minute's Daydream. I believe it's one that's based off of David Bowie, so congrats to them. For best immersive audio album, went to Alicia Keys. I'm pretty sure that I predicted her to win, so congratulations to her. For best remix recording, it went to Wet Leg, and unfortunately, for the Mariah song, it didn't win. It is what it is. Congrats to them. Jack Antonoff wins Producer of the Year non-classical. He's had a great year. Not mad at it. It was probably one of my predictions. For best R&B album, they gave it to Jaguar 2 by Victoriamonet. Such an amazing album. Glad that she won that. And then she also got best engineered album, something like that, for the same album. So congratulations to her. And for best progressive R&B album, they gave it to SOS by SZA, and so richly deserved. I feel like this album is just so interesting in terms of all the different genres that she went on, from alternative to classic R&B to just everything that she did on here and the vocals and everything. So I'm glad that album ended up getting something overall, and I feel like I predicted all of these in some fashion or another. Cocojones ended up winning best R&B performance for her song ICU, and I'm very happy that this happened for her because the way that everything was going, I was really concerned that she was going to be snubbed, and I didn't want that to happen. So the fact that she won, I'm really happy about that. And if you just listen to the vocal performance on the song, one of the best vocals of that year respectively, and we love to see it. And I'm happy that all the R&B girls that I wanted to win something did. They love to snub them. And so it's also worth noting that I feel like a few years ago, had she released this album and kind of went on the run that she did, I feel like she wouldn't have even been nominated. I feel like the Grammys are making small steps to kind of become a better ceremony. They have a long way to go, and believe me, we will talk about that later, but I'm happy that she ended up walking away with something because it was richly deserved. So for best traditional R&B performance, PJ Morton ends up winning, and I probably predicted that it was going to go to Victoria Monet or SZA, but happy for him. So Killer Mike ends up winning best rap album and best rap song. And so something that's interesting is for best rap song, they basically announced that it was the Barbie song on the website, and then that was wrong, so they had to go issue a correction, and a lot of people felt a way about that. Some people felt like it was on purpose, but I saw people saying that they accidentally did it with Beyonce in one of the categories a few years back. So it happens. It is what it is. I will stand in regard to that. But one of the funny things about this is that he won a couple Grammys in the pre-ceremony, right? And then he literally got arrested immediately after, and there's like a whole video and like photos of it, and it's basically a misdemeanor, and I think he was released yesterday, so that was a plot twist to add. So I wanted to mention that. I feel like these were among my predictions. All My Life by Lil Durk featuring J. Cole wins best melodic rap performance. I feel like I predicted this again. If I didn't predict them, I probably predicted the Drake song, and it is what it is. I don't really have any investment in this category in particularly. I just like to guess for them for fun. For best pop duo and group performance, Phoebe Bridgers and SZA end up getting the win with their collaboration Ghost in the Machine. And this is exactly the one that I wanted. As I said in my video, I'm so happy that this song won. I feel like this is an underrated song on the album. Nobody talks about it, but yeah. The fact that they ended up doing a song together and the fact that it sounds as good as it is a testament to their talent as singers and songwriters and the production. Yup. This was so well deserved. One of my favorite wins of the night. One of my favorite moments of the ceremony by far. For best alternative music album, they gave it to The Record by boygenius. I really enjoyed this album, and I'm glad that they ended up winning, and it's just so nice to see Phoebe Bridgers taking a couple of awards home after they completely shut her out for the Punisher album, which was one of the best albums of that year. For Songwriter of the Year non-classical, Theron Thomas gets the win, so shout out to him. boygenius ends up winning again for best rock song with their song Not Strong Enough, one of the best songs on the album, and so richly deserved once again. For best rock album, they gave it to This Is Why by Paramore. Absolutely Absolutely, like it had to be done. The album was too good. And literally, here's their photo of them celebrating from home. But this is the first award that they've won as this kind of variant of the group and everything, because their last Grammy was for Ain't It Fun all the way in like 2013. So this was a great album. It was one of my favorite albums of the year. I love the songwriting, I love the singing, I love the performing. Everything on there was top notch. And yeah, just happy to see them get another Grammy because it was about time for them to do it. And as you guys have already seen, boygenius wins again for best rock performance for Not Strong Enough, again richly deserved. And yeah, they got a couple of awards tonight, and I'm just happy to, like I said, seeing Phoebe win was great because she was snubbed, but also getting to see Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker win is nice because, you know, they don't really get talked about enough. I feel like all of them are really great songwriters in their own way. I like their singing, I like their harmonies, I like the production on the album, so to see them win big in this way is fantastic, and I'm glad that they got their moment to, you know, get their little speeches, have their moment to shine, because they really deserved it. That album was one of the best albums of last year, so I'm happy that they won big. So now on to the main show and the other awards that were announced. I want to give some quick thoughts on the main show before we dive into the rest of it. As I said, for the past few years, fire Trevor Noah as a host. I don't know why you guys keep bringing him back. I guess there's something that they find, you know, funny and non-offensive about him. I don't care. Hire somebody else. How many years are we gonna have to sit in agony? Like, that opening monologue is so long. His jokes aren't funny. His pacing is awful, and he has to go. He has to go. If he has no haters, I'm dead. Like, that's how much I cannot stand him as the host. He has to go. Absolutely. I can't deal with him no more. And next up, as I always say, the pacing of the show could not be more horrible, because it's like they have one award, then they have 5 people perform, and then they give another award, and then they go to commercial. Like, the pacing of it is so horrible, and they need to fix it. And why is it 3 to 4 hours every single year? It doesn't need to be that long. You guys know that. So why don't you fix it? Every single year we go through this, and I just feel like they have to fix the structuring of the ceremony because it leaves a lot to be desired, and it's just frustrating watching it. Like, they just really try to hook you in for as long as possible because they know that you're interested in it, and don't even get me started. Don't. Another big moment from the ceremony I wanted to talk about is that Jay-Z won an award. It's a Dr. Dre Global Change Award, something like that. He brought Blue Ivy stage with him, as you guys can see. And so I wanted to say really quickly, naming an award after an abuser is weird. Dr. Dre is not seeing heaven. I don't care. He's a horrible person. You want to know why? Look it up. And they need to do better. But, you know, kind of getting into the meat and potatoes of it all, Jay-Z was just kind of talking about hip-hop at large and how far that the Grammys and the music industry have come. And he basically said that there's some years that he felt like, you know, some of his favorite artists were snubbed, and that wasn't right. And, you know, he didn't, you know, support the ceremony because of that, but he basically still watched it at home. And he said, you know, some young artists, if you feel like you're snubbed, just keep working, eventually you'll get there. He said some of y'all don't even deserve to be nominated, and he really ate with that, because every year they sneak people in certain categories, and I just hate that, because I really feel like it should be based off of who made the best music that year. And I just think that it's a lot more fun watching categories like the R&B categories this year. For example, you have like 5 equally strong people, and you don't really mind who wins because all of them are talented, all of them have great work that respective year. The part that had people talking the most was whenever he brought up that Beyonce is the most awarded artist by the Grammys, yet she doesn't have album of the year. And he said, basically, by your standards, that doesn't even make sense. Like, oh, he dragged them. He came for filth, and I love it because he spilled. Beyonce has most notably lost album of the year 3 times, and that was whenever she lost to Beck whenever she released her self-titled album. Then she lost again to Adele whenever she released Lemonade, and Adele released 25. And 25 is a great album, but Lemonade was that album. A great cultural album, amazing overall, and it was just impactful. And even Adele acknowledged that and said that she didn't deserve to win, and she was so real for that, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that. And then whenever she just lost to Harry Styles, I like the Harry Styles album a lot, but it wasn't the cultural force that Renaissance was, and it wasn't as excellent as Renaissance was. So for him to get on that platform and just speak the truth and say, look, you snubbed her and she absolutely deserved that album of the year win, yeah, that takes, you know, a lot of guts to do that. And so I really respect him for saying that. And his speech overall, I think he had a lot of good moments that he was kind of touching on, talking about rap and music at large. And I feel like he spilled. And he said, sorry, I get, you know, honest whenever I'm nervous. So yeah, he definitely ate, and he was so real for, you know, taking the Academy to task for that, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. So I really appreciated that. I also wanted to say that Beyonce really looked great at the ceremony. You know, they all looked great, you know, shout out to them. And the fact that she had a line of celebrities waiting to take a picture with her and talk to her, oh, Beyonce, the star that you are, her longevity, her star power, her talent. Yeah, she's one of the best to ever do it, I fear. So I'm glad that she kind of got her flowers in that respect, because too many people playing Beyonce face, one of the best to ever do it. Okay, so I saw this on Twitter. It says Matthew Knowles reveals that Columbia Records is also to blame for Beyonce never taking the album of the year. In conversations with TMZ, Matthew revealed that Columbia is not doing their part behind the scenes in terms of the voting process and other things to support Beyonce. Record labels can only support one artist per category, which becomes a problem when artists from the same label are nominated for the same award. As was the case with with Beyonce at least twice with Adele and Harry Styles, who are also from Colombia. That's really interesting. I don't really know how true this is, but I figured that I would throw this in there, kind of add something to the conversation overall. But if that is the case, then Colombia definitely got to do better, because she's brought them so much money over the years and she really deserves an album of the year. So shame on them if it's true, but I'm not 100% sure on that. A few days ago, the Grammys had a ceremony, I believe it's for the Black Music Collective, and they presented Mariah Carey with an award. I believe it was the Global Change Award, something like that. So now that brings Mariah up to 6 Grammys. She should have a lot more than that, but that's a different conversation that I don't want to get into. And so I will say that she has been looking great recently, been serving looks. I appreciated her speech and the shade. She literally said, "Is this a real Grammy? I haven't seen one in so long. Get them again. Get them for me." Tori Kelly did a tribute, A Vision of Love. I enjoyed it for what it was. I will say Stevie Wonder had some nice words to say for her. He also did a tribute of Hero as well, and I thought that that was worth mentioning, but congratulations to Mariah, so richly deserved. And so she actually did come to the ceremony and she presented the award for Best Pop Solo Performance, and the award ended up going to Miley Cyrus for her song Flowers. And I feel like the award is richly deserved for Miley because I enjoyed the song so much. It was nice to see her get her first Grammy, but what I really appreciated about Miley is that she really went up, she acknowledged Mariah, she was so complimentary of her, and then her entire speech was just her talking about, you know, butterflies and stuff like that, and just her talking about what her song means to her. And if you are a Lamb or huge Mariah Carey fan, then you automatically know the significance that butterflies have to Mariah. So for the tie-in to happen that way, love to see it, and it was a really cute moment of the show. So happy at the way everything turned out. And I will say that Mariah's looking great recently. She really is. And everyone said like all these public appearances and stuff that she's doing is kind of setting the tone for a new era, and they said this is what it was like before Caution. And I hope that we're getting new music from her soon, because this would be my first album as a Lamb, and that would mean a lot. I'm gonna keep my expectations low because we've been her before, but you know, she's looking great this era. We will see what happens, but yeah, I'm really shocked she ended up going to the ceremony because of how many times they snubbed her. But I feel like she went to the other one because she knew that she was getting an award. So we'll see what happens in the future. We'll see if, you know, this award is a bridge, like I was saying on my TikTok, for the Grammy to nominate her and give her more awards in the future. I don't know. She deserves a lot more than she has, like I already said, but we'll just see what happens. For Best R&B Song, you know, this was a pretty heavily stacked category, and so SZA ended up taking home the win with Snooze, which was really deserved. Her speech was really cute, and you could tell she got really emotional over it, and deservedly so, because the way that they snubbed her for that Control album is just egregious. And so the fact that she got a couple awards tonight, I'm really happy with that. And this is a Songwriters Award, and SZA's talked over and over again about how important being a songwriter is to her and everything. So yeah, and this song was solely written by her. She said that herself, and the people that she worked with who, you know, produced the song have said that. So, you know, I'm sure that this one kind of meant a little bit more to her. So I'm really happy to see her win it, because she's one of the best songwriters out right now. For Best Pop Vocal Album, Taylor Swift ended up winning for Midnights. This was one of my predictions. I also could have gave it to the Olivia Rodrigo album Guts, which I really enjoyed, and I loved Kelly Clarkson's Chemistry album. It was my album of the year. But I mean, yeah, this is pretty on brand for them to do, so I'm not necessarily surprised by this move. She went on stage, accepted her award, and then she announced that she has a new album called The Tortured Poets Department. It's going to be coming out April 19th. On my second channel, I'm going to talk about what I think the soundscape for this album is going to be. I'm going to talk about the track listing and all that, and then of course whenever the album comes out, I'll do a reaction to it, and then I'll probably do a follow-up video in like the next couple weeks after it, talking about, you know, my updated opinions on the albums like I do for albums that I really enjoy. But very excited for this album. A lot of people thought she was going to announce Reputation, Taylor's version, which I could see. Kind of shocked that she ended up announcing an entirely new album, but we shall see what happens. So for Best New Artist, you know, we have all these nominees here. I honestly thought that they were going to give it to Ice Spice just because she had such a big year this past year and everything. But as the ceremony kept going on, I kept seeing on like Gold Derby and all these other websites, they were saying like, oh, I think that they're going to give it to Victoria Monet. Victoria ends up winning it, and I'm really glad that she did, because it's richly deserved. I love her music. She's very, very talented. And then whenever she went on the stage and gave her speech, she was basically talking about how like she's just been working so hard for so long, and that she never gave up, and that she had this binder about, you know, what she wanted her career to be, and then someone found it, and then they became her manager. And then they like put on that music to get her off the stage, which is what they always do. But then I saw like this video on TikTok, and then there's a screen like in front of her that says please stop, and like they let some people yap on forever, but you know, let her give a speech about how thankful she is to even win, and y'all do it. Like, they just annoy me so much. But yeah, Victoria, very richly deserved, and it was nice to see, you know, her get an award televised. You know, we love to see it. For Record of the Year, we had a lot of strong people in this category. I mean, low-key, I kind of wanted to see Olivia win something, so I wouldn't have been mad if she won this award, because I really like Vampire. But ultimately, Miley Cyrus wins for her song Flowers, and you know, I was happy that she got 1 Grammy tonight, because you know, I feel like it was really deserved. But for them to give her 2 was very much unexpected. But yeah, again, you can tell that she was just really thankful for it, so I'm not mad at her winning. It was such a huge chunk for that year, and this year is going to like the producer producers, the engineers, like it goes to everyone who's involved in creating the song. So I'm not mad at it by any means. So for Song of the Year, here are all the nominees. And yeah, there's a lot of good picks for this one. Ultimately, they ended up giving it to Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For the Barbie movie. And I'm happy with this. I like the songwriting on here a lot. I like the vocals in here. I like the production. It makes sense for her to win this award. And she's got this award before, and it is a songwriter's award first and foremost. I think that she's a great songwriter. So, you know, not too mad at this one, to be honest. Celine Dion made an appearance at the ceremony, and congratulations to her overall. Like, she's literally been through so much with this, you know, disease that she's battling. And so the fact that she even made it to the ceremony, and you know, she's looking great. Shout out to, I believe, Law Roach for styling her. He's literally iconic. But yeah, I'm just glad that she even made this appearance and everything, because she's really been going through it. So for album of the year, Taylor Swift ends up winning it for her Minutes album, and this is exactly what I predicted. I said that Taylor Swift is gonna win, but I wanted SZA to win with SOS. Nothing new, nothing changed, and it's like now she's breaking a tie with Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, and Frank Sinatra, I believe, because they all won album of the year 3 times now that she's won it a 4th time. And at this point, like, how excited can you get about winning album of the year when you've already won it 3 other times? And I feel like those 3 other times were deserved, honestly, and this one is just not deserved. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. With that being said, as I said before, I really loved Midnights. It's one of my favorite Taylor Swift albums. Songs like Rune, Karma, The Great War, Hits Different, Lavender Haze, You're on Your Own Kid are some of my favorite Taylor songs, but this was just not deserving. It really wasn't. This album was incredible. It had its moment. It had its longevity. It was time for her to win. In terms of how SZA felt about not winning album of the year, she said, "I'm grateful I won 3. I could have led with nothing and I didn't, and I'm grateful. My parents got to see it and I didn't bomb on live television, and that was so scary, and I faced some really big fears, and I'm just happy that it all went well, genuinely, and I'm happy for everybody." And I could see what she means, because like I said, they really snubbed her for control and everything, so I think she's just happy that she even got anything at all, and you know, she's just keeping it cute. So I could see, you know, her standpoint with that. Overall, I'm just so tired of them not giving Black women album of the year. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier with Beyonce. The fact that she's been snubbed in a big way at least 3 times is ridiculous, and it just doesn't matter what these Black women do or Black artists do in general. For the most part, like, they're just not going to give it to them because they don't want to, because the Grammys are racist, as I've been saying, because you want to award them in all the R&B categories and other categories, and it's nice that they get things. I'm not saying that it isn't, but whenever it comes time for an album of the year, then you want to act like mum is the word, and you just give it to all these white people all the time. And like I said, I like Taylor Swift. I'm a big fan of her, but she did not deserve another album of the year win. Like, when is enough enough? Like, the Academy just gets on my nerves, and I just had to clock it. Also, with this album of the year conversation, it literally brings up this tweet, and I just now found out that Aretha Franklin never got nominated for album of the year. Like, what do you mean Aretha Franklin never got a nomination whenever she was releasing albums like I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, Spirit in the Dark, which is one of her best, Young, Gifted, and Black, you have the Sparkle soundtrack, like so many excellent career defining, life altering albums, and no nomination. Don't even get me started about how they snub Mariah so many times. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Also, some people brought up the fact that she didn't really acknowledge Celine that much whenever she got the award. She kind of just took it and gave her speech, and yeah, she could have done a little bit better job doing it, especially everything Celine's been through. Celine's an icon, one of the best singers of all time. They have this picture after the ceremony on the screen right now here, so I wanted to acknowledge that. So something that I wanted to bring up, and a new pattern that I think they might be doing, is giving an artist best pop vocal album and then also giving them album of the year, because they just did this last year with Harry, with his album Harry's House last year. So I'm like, maybe this is something new that they're gonna do. I don't know. It's really intriguing to me, because I thought that they were gonna spread out the big 4 categories like more often, kind of like they done for the past like couple years, but maybe this is a new way. So I'm gonna keep this in mind for next year, I will say, but I honestly don't like it. I feel like if they're gonna give you one, then give them one. Like, if you're gonna give them best pop vocal, stick with that. Give someone else album of the year. I just like whenever it's divvied up more, because then everybody has a chance to win. It's better that way, but I just wanted to note that. Okay, so my overall thoughts on this year's ceremony is my overall thoughts on every single year's ceremony. Like, they are doing little incremental things right to make the ceremony better, which I appreciate, but overall there's a lot that they need to do, including giving Black women album of the year, which I don't think that they're gonna do. So it's just a sing, song, and dance from them every single year, and I get kind of tired of it overall. I think that this was one of the better ceremonies because I feel like they had better performers. We had, you know, some icons out there with Celine and Mariah showing up, which I do appreciate. I got to see some of my favorite people get awards, like Victoriamonet, pictured on the screen right now. We got to see SZA, Phoebe Bridgers get some stuff. I hate that Olivia ultimately got snubbed though. I really thought that she should have won something for her Guts album, even if it was just something for Vampire, because I still think that that's a great song. It was one of the best songs of that year, and I would have liked to see her take home, you know, a best pop vocal album record of the year. Like, that would have been cute. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like that was the biggest snub of the night, and Taylor winning album of the year was undeserved. Like I already said, the Swifties might drag me, but I don't care, because I dragged her several times. It is what it is. You know, 2 things can exist. I can like her music, and you know, I can have cheeks. And so yeah, that's kind of my criticisms for the night mainly. Besides that, you know, I would give it like 7.5 out of 10, and that's my overall thoughts on the ceremony and everything. Let me know what you guys think down below. What was your favorite moment? What was your least favorite moment? What was your favorite performance? Your least favorite performance? Who was snubbed? All of those things. Let's continue that conversation. And if you guys want to see more videos on the Grammys, I'll have a playlist on the screen right now, and it's of all the videos I've done in the Grammys in the past. I always do a predictions video months before, and then I do a review. So I will be doing this next year because it's just what I do at this point. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy the voiceover style videos and everything. If you enjoy, give it a like down below. It helps me out a lot in YouTube algorithm. I'd very much appreciate it. You can subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, get notifications to your phone when I post and not miss some ready videos come out. First link down below is my second channel. I've been posting on there every day for the past few months. Like I said, I'm going to do a video talking about the new Taylor Swift album and the track list and kind of, you know, some preliminary thoughts on it. So definitely check me out on there. I've been on fire. And then if you guys want to see everything that I post on TikTok, you guys can follow me on my main TikTok account, my second TikTok account. It'll be linked down below. Like I said, I don't post everything that I do on TikTok on my second channel because it can get overwhelming, and I like to keep some stuff on TikTok, so check me out on there if you wish. You guys can also follow me on my Twitter accounts. I have a main one and I have a backup one just in case. I'm on there every single day, so check me out on there. I have an Instagram. I have a Spotify account if you would like to follow me. Also try to link down the videos that I've done on these artists if I can down below in the description. And as I always say, free Palestine. It's an important cause. Educate yourself on this issue. I'll have links down below to donate if you're interested. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.